The problem in the past has been the man turning us against one another. We have been unable to see the truth because we have been fighting for 10 square feet of ground. That's crap, brothers. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The Warriors.
There he is! That's him! That's the warrior! He shot Cyrus! We saw him! Yeah, that's him. He's the one.
What up, everybody? Welcome back, Spiritual Experience. You know the deal. Yeah, man. Powerful stuff. Old school. Incredible message. The Warriors. The Warriors. Yeah, man. That's what we need. You know, they're turning us against one another. They're turning us against ourselves. You know, we're turning us. It's not even them. It's us, bro. It's us, man. It's us. You know, I'm approaching a birthday. 44 years old. Yeah, man. And I got a lot of stuff going on in my brain. It's like a lot of evolution, revolution happening. You know? Yeah. And where am I at? Where am I at? I guess I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've been digging a little bit deeper into really just gratitude, actually. I'm grateful, man. You know, there's a lot of lost people. And yeah, there's a lot of lost people out there in my life. There's a lot of lost people out there on earth. And I'm not one of them. And I don't even think that I'm not better than them. So I was lost for a long time. You know, you spend so much time, you know, I was just growing as an adult, as a human. You know, I was like very confrontational with life. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Just more so about, you know, you don't know until you know. And, you know, a lot of times I'm the last to know. And there's no race. You know, everybody's running their own race. And many times I get into these ideas about how other people should, where they should be, how they should be. Really, a lot of it is how they should be, you know. And that's really kind of like all ego. You know, everybody's got to go through their own pain and their own, what do they say? They, you know, nobody sees the work. They only see the glory or whatever. You know, I don't know. I kind of sound like I have it all together. And I have it, you know, I'm happy. I have a happy life, you know. And it doesn't mean I don't have challenges, but I'm happy, man. And then when I see, you know, other folks that are struggling, they're not happy, or they're just struggling to find that place, you know. You know, I was listening to, you know, I listen to a lot of Jocko when I lose my way, you know, because he has these guys that come on there, and they have such, you know, they have such crazy lives, like really crazy, you know. And I get a lot from that because it's crazy compared to me when I think about that kind of stuff. You know, what other people have accomplished, in the sense of like, okay, where, you know, when I see other people's accomplishments, I don't really even get jealous. None of that. It's very inspiring for me, you know. And I was listening this guy he had on there. I don't want to fuck up his name, so I'm gonna have to like pull it up. What is it? Chad Robichaux. I didn't know who the guy was. You know, I didn't know who the guy was. And this guy came from a broken home, you know, whatever. And, you know, he went into, he's from the mud of the bayou. Then he went into the military after seeing, you know, his dream was to go into the military with his brother. And then when he was like 14 years old, his brother got killed, shotgunned. And then he gets into the military, does some crazy special forces shit, you know, training, you know, and then, you know, nothing is going on. So he goes into the reserves, and then he joins some kind of police force, does some 21 Jump Street shit because he's such a young, little looking guy. And, you know, yeah, it's just a wild story, you know, a wild story. He does that, and then he goes back, you know, after 9/11, goes into Iraq, and he's got like, you know, then he goes undercover in Iraq. You know, goes into uncharted territories, and he does like all this stuff. At the same time, he's training jiu-jitsu, judo, doing all of these like spectacular things. Now, they're spectacular to me because, you know, when I was younger, in my heyday of active addiction and active alcoholism and active self, you know, I had my own wars. And his stuff is like, wow, that's pretty impressive. You know, that a human being can do that. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, if he could do that, I could do this, you know? And that's the way I look at it, you know, because I had my own things. While he was doing that, what was I doing? I was just wrapped in self. Maybe he was wrapped in self in different ways, you know. Maybe he was. And he didn't realize the impact that he was having on Earth. And that's a thing that I was lost about, you know. We all have impact. Unless you're just alone. That's the only way. And none of us are alone. So if you're just like retreating in the way of, you know, isolation or whatever, there are other people who are attached to your life who care about you. And a piece of them is there with you, you know, so, you know. Try and get some help and maybe get out of that space. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, yeah, I was wrapped in self. I was incapable of being cognizant of somebody else. Like, you know, we were talking about this yesterday. I was at this big book meeting. We're reading some shit about alcoholics. There's all different grades of alcohol. I guess alcoholics, alcoholism, I don't know, addiction. There's different, you know, there's just like there's different pedigrees of dogs. There's different, you know, that. And I don't know, like, if you ask me, I would, at one point I'd say, well, maybe if I was a dog, I would be like, I don't know. I would want to be a shepherd. But instead, I would really just be a fucking chihuahua in real life. But chihuahuas think that they're shepherds, and they think that they're brave because they're barking and they're yapping. But at the same time, they get the last laugh because nobody knows when they take little puddle peas all over the apartment, all over the house until you step on it, you know, because they're sneaky. And that's me. meanwhile, I'm still cuddly, whatever, but I'm like, you know, yeah. And I was falling victim to my belief system and victim to circumstances, and a lot of them that I put myself in. You know, I made all of those choices. You know, there were people who came from the same circumstance or worse than me, and look at this guy. This guy did all of that shit, and you know, he ended up in Afghanistan, you know, a bunch of times, you know, 6-8 tours, even though they're only like 4 months at a time. He had an interpreter that he became like family with, and like, you know, goes into this whole thing, and he's got books and he does motivational speaking, whatever, and all this other shit. And, you know, he's big on, you know, like, you know, the prevention of suicide and whatever, because he ended up, you know, having PTSD and wanting to take his own life. And his wife stepped to him and was like, dude, you are a fucking professional fighter. You're a special forces guy. You're disciplined in all these ways, but then when it comes to accountability in your home with your kids and your wife, you want to fucking run away. And he said that was like one of the most honest things that somebody ever told him. You know? And, you know, meanwhile, he burned a lot of that stuff to the ground. And then he gets redemption. You know, nobody came to, well, I shouldn't say that. I have like one of my, we call them like a OGs. One of my OGs, you know, who was with me through my suffering, you know, he didn't understand, my sickness. And he would just like, you know, he'd look at me and he'd say, yo, man, what's up with you? You gotta have a strong mind. He would like point at his head like, yo, you gotta have a strong mind, right? And I knew deep in my heart that I didn't have it. I knew I was a chihuahua, but I hung out with, you know, shepherds. And he was a shepherd. I shouldn't say was. He is a shepherd. You know? And it's tough. You know, because then you got to get honest with yourself about who you are and about what your intentions are. And so this guy had that amazing life, and I had an amazing life. I can't wait to see how the rest of it is going to unfold. The point is that I don't want to have any more of the firecracker excitement. I get excitement through different avenues. I'm over here staring at a painting that one of our guests made and he gave to me. It's got the Serenity Prayer on it. It's fucking amazing. My man Danny Litwack. It's the best. Love that kid. But yeah, man, life gets real. So what's going on? Right? I get my act, you know, what kind of act did I get together, right? I came from a 2-parent home, you know, and it just was what it was. And I made every wrong turn. You know, I said, no, I'm going to take the wheel, you know, and that was that. And I took the wheel and I ran the car into the fucking wall, you know, but I was able to, you know, at least I was able to drive. I was able to learn how to drive and how to live through life and how to persevere, and how I wouldn't say, is perseverance the right word? I don't know. I just learned how to just, you know, you got to get up every day and you got to fucking put your boots on and you just got to make shit happen. And when you're living that kind of lifestyle, that's the tool that you get. You get the tool that I will get high and I will drink and I will, you know, whatever your vice is at any cost. I will get my fix at any cost. And it is, so you're really driven. I should say that. You're really driven. So it teaches you how to be like that. You know, I don't know if I was resilient when I was a kid. Look, I talk shit about this all the time, but it's like, I don't like anybody telling me what to do. You know, I don't, like this other guy said, like, I don't even like telling myself what to do. You know, nobody. You know, so I didn't really take a lot of helpful advice. I didn't take any, and I was like, you know, I couldn't see any hints or anything. But I learned how to persevere, and I learned how to be, how to survive in that way. So I'm I'm good at gambling on myself. You know, I went from living a life that way that was pure, you know, purely based on what needs can I get met in the moment, whether, especially when, you know, like I said, outside things, you know, women, accolades, you know, if people are looking at me in some way, whether it's admiration or freaking horror, but at least they're looking at me, and then I don't have to look at myself, you know. And meanwhile, you know, I left a whole trail of destruction and tears and broken people, and, you know, I'm sure I made it to somebody's fucking 4th step list and somebody's thing on their you know, and their therapist are talking about me. You know, so what did I learn? I learned how to be honest with myself about who I am, you know. And this is why I've yet to have any of those relapses in this long time that I've been sober. And if you don't have any relapses and you stay inside of a program, you have a good chance of really having an incredible life. Because this incredible life that I thought I was living, where, like, you know, if you have this many chicks, and if you're making this much money, and you have this car, and then you have this watch, and you have these suits, and you have I always call it the costume. When you have all that stuff on, it's not even, you think, you know, I thought it was going to be like that forever. Like, this is just who I am. I'm that guy. I'm that guy that did it. I never went to college. I never, like it's some sort of fucking badge of honor. It's like, oh, I never went to college, you know? Meanwhile, you know, I want all my kids to go to school and learn something, and I wouldn't be against going to school and learning something now, you know? So I learned everything the hard way. And there was a lot of people who were helping me and teaching me. So anyway, back to, like, my OG, you know, he's like going through stuff now in his life. You know, he's in the middle of his life. His kids are grown, and I love him and I love them. And, you know, I don't know how to show. I've been scared to show up for him. I've been scared. I've seen him, you know, yeah, I've been around him, but I haven't been like, yo, you know, I know now you're in pain. You know, and he's one of these guys, when I mean, like, he's an OG, like, he's like, let me tell you something. There's things that may have happened on this earth that nobody knows about, but he knows about. Like, he's like that. Mum's the word. Like, there is no word. Forget about mums. It's like that. And meanwhile, like, over time, I've lived this life of opening this, I don't know, flower. Okay, I said it. Like, opening, you know, a little bit at a time, and really, that's my tool. That's my gift. My gift is that I learned how to open myself inside out, and with that, I'm able to help other people. You know, I never saved any lives ever in the desert or fucking, you know, I don't know. I'm not a firefighter. Shout out to them. Shout out to Jamie. He sent me to Finny Pizza. I had a white fucking slice when they give you the little lemon, you put it on there. I never had it before. I told him, I said, bro, this is the most hipster shit ever. And it was really good. Okay, but enough of that. So, but those guys in my mind are heroes. Meanwhile, the gift that I've been given is the opportunity to learn how to help other people recognize their truth. Now, I may not have all the answers, but I know that and if I don't have any experience, I just say, look, bro, I don't have any experience with that. I know what it's like to fucking lose. That I know. And I know what it's like to quit. I know what it's like to quit, man. This guy that I love so much, man, he fucking called me and, you know, it was tough, man, because I didn't know everything that was going on in his life, and he was having a rough time. And I thought he was just trying to tap out. And this motherfucker is a fucking winner. You know, winner meaning like in the long run. You may take these bumps and these bruises and you may tap out, but he's not a quitter. He's not. And I didn't know how to handle what he was saying to me. And it was all news to me. And I told him, I said, bro, you're telling me 10 minutes worth of a year's worth of sorrow or a year's worth of something. I shouldn't say sorrow, I'm sorry. A year's worth of struggle in 10 minutes that I don't know is there. So to me, it sounds like, bro, you're having a rough moment and you want to fucking give up on your dream and you don't even know, you know, I'm the wrong fucking guy. I'm the wrong guy. If you ever want to quit, I'm the wrong guy to call. If you need somebody to talk to, you can say, hey, look, I just need to vent. I need this, that, whatever. And it's all love. I and I love this kid. And he loves me and he yelled at me and I fucking yelled a little bit at him. And he's fucking the best thing ever. And if I saw him, I'd give him the biggest hug or buy him the biggest steak. Because I know what it's like to fucking quit. The regret. The regret, man. You know. And with this second chance that we've gotten in life, a lot of us, you know, they always say everybody has 2 lives, and the second one begins when you realize you only have one. You know, and that's the real one, bro. Like, I'm not too good for any of that stuff, you know. So, like, when my brain tells me, oh, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and it's all ego. Like, I'm not too good for any of it. So, you know. Yeah, it was a tough conversation. So I have to like chase down my friend, the OG, and be like, bro, like, dude, he's so fucking funny. Like I texted him like, dog, I said, let's see, maybe he sent me back, but I doubt it. Fucking guy, because he's like, yo, because I invited his parents to my wedding, and he's involved in my family. He's everything. This guy. And he was like, yo, and the invitation came back, so then I went to go see his parents and to hand deliver it because that's who the fuck I am today, you know, in some ways. In some other ways, I had under the pillow, but in that way I did that because this guy was with me since I was 16 years old, 17, and rode with me all the way through the end. This is the guy that, like, grabbed me by my face when he was like, you're doing fucking heroin, motherfucker? Like, you know, it was like that. Was out with me till 3, 4 in the morning and he didn't know how to help me, but he didn't want to leave me. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't want to leave me. You know, and then here I am knowing peripherally that, you know, he's having a hard time. And it's not drinking or drugs or anything. Sometimes it's just life. You don't know where life's going to take you. And I'm not putting his business out there. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just don't know. You don't know. Nothing is forever. All that money, that costume, everything, it wasn't forever. You know, and this guy, he's a good man. You know, he's a human being. And, you know, just like the rest of us, he needs love, you know, but he's not the kind of guy that will let you love him, you know. He ain't. And that's what's so tough, man. I don't know how to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to And because the other thing is that a lot of the lessons that I needed to learn sitting down on my own because I pushed everybody away. You know, I did. I pushed everybody away. And I was like, bro, like, fuck all of you. I can just put on another costume and go find another group of people and do this other thing. And then nobody will know who I am. You know? Nobody will know who I am. They call that, what's the term? Hold on. Isolated from accountability. That's when I just distance myself from anybody who can smell the truth, you know. So I'm having this I'm like tossing this around. And this is one of the things that's been gnawing at me, because I know that he's a stand-up guy, man. He's gonna get up just like I learned. He's gonna get up every day, put his boots on, go out there and work, make sure his family, you know, is okay and all this other stuff. He's just gonna endure, you know. And but I also, you know, so I have I have trepidation. As now he knows that I have no way to not go looking for him. You know, when I saw his parents and I sat there for 45 minutes, had coffee, chill, whatever. And they're like, yo, let's talk about him. Is he depressed? What do you think? This, that. And I'm like, I was embarrassed to say that, you know, that I've been letting that beer settle without facing it. You know, because this guy, he, you know, he saved my life so many times. You know, just by loving me. Maybe that's all I need to do is just love him. Maybe that's it. Maybe, you know, all the fancy shit that we talk about and that I learned, and all of my 12 steps is like fucking, you know, it's like 12 whatever. It's like a doctorate degree or something. Because it's like, you know, it's a program of action, and it's a program of not even and reflection in the sense of like, oh, I'm not going to look at myself. Like, no, somebody's going to show you who the fuck you are. And then we're going to help you change that. And that's not, that's not his cup of tea. That's not a lot of people's cup of tea. You know, it's to be like, listen, this is the way that I know how to love you, because hold on. Ooh. This is the way that I know how to love, is by, you know, showing you things that you won't see because you're inside the eye of the storm. You know, so it could be situations where like whatever I'm saying is right, but what I'm doing is wrong. If that makes any sense. You know, what I'm saying is right, but what I'm doing is wrong. And, you know, but am I not using my talent? Am I my gift? You know, I worked hard on this gift. I'm really, you know, I'm pretty good at it. You know, people come to me for help. He ain't one of them. But there's other people who come to me for help, but I only know how to do like what this guy's doing. Like, I only know how to do like Navy SEAL shit. I don't know how to do like, you know, any other thing. I don't know how to do that. You know, they talk a lot in our literature about, about isolation and about, you know, listening to your own ideas, and a lot of them aren't great. You know, they also talk about this stuff called incomprehensible demoralization. you know, and that's like a whole other thing. But that's something that I had to make my peace with. And him and other people, they have to make their peace with too. I mean, incomprehensible, meaning that I don't even understand why or how. I don't know what that was. But I gave my morals away. I did some shit that, whatever, you know. But I have to also accept that the truth is that's who I am. I am that guy. And I have this, you know, I don't know the right word because I didn't go to college. Propensity, whatever, to be negative and to be selfish. And that is my natural state. I don't enjoy it as much as what I get from being the opposite of that. So as my sponsor says, like every day, bro, I have to live a life that is just flapping my wings out of negativity and out of selfishness. That's what I have to do. I spend all my waking, and that's not feverishly, but my lifestyle makes me do that. You know, my lifestyle makes me do that. And it's about how many people can I help selflessly. I've gotten more satisfaction of doing that than, you know, sleeping with 3 girls in the same day, which I've done without drinking or drugging, you know, and that kind of, and I didn't pay for any of them, in case you were wondering. But like, yeah, where there's like, you know, that is a bottomless well. That's self. So I've gotten more long-term, if I'm going to use these stupid analogies that my brain makes me use. Like, I've really quenched that thirst by helping other people. You know, it's almost like when it's all said and done, how many people did you help? And that's it. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and feverishly look for them. But it means as they come into your life, how can you, in our genre of people's vocabulary, say, how many people did you put on? Like, I can honestly say this, that I have helped 3 other people start a business that came through my business. And I haven't had this business that long, 12 years. But I've had 3 other, the guy who's working with me now, who we're working in partnership, this is the 3rd one that that I'm like, listen, you come here and I'll show you how to do ABC, XYZ, and you bring some of your skills here. The other 2, they didn't know fucking anything at all. They knew fucking nothing. They came with 0, and I showed them stuff, and then I helped them get off the ground. They put in all the work, you know, but I put them on. Like, their companies' names came from me. They were like, what should I name my company? I want to name it this. I want to name it that. I was like, I think you should name it this. You know, one of them is named after his own name, and the other one is named after, you know, something else. But, and that's like, you know, that makes me feel good. You know, if I'm not doing that in all areas of my life, how am I putting people on? Because that's what people did to me. When I got sober, they put me on to the fucking game. And the game is like, look at who you are. Look at your behaviors is who you are. Not what you think. Not what you feel, it's what you do. That is who you are. So I have to remember and respect what I've done and know that I'm capable, 100% capable. And this is not out of fear. This is out of respect. Like, again, I would love to be the shepherd or the pit bull or whatever. No, I'm the little fucking sneaky chihuahua who makes pretend like he's your friend and then takes a fucking dump in your shoe. That's who I am. And when I'm the chihuahua, I don't want to be the shepherd. Shepherd is in charge of fucking protecting the house. I want to alert you maybe when something's going on and then you go handle it. You know? Yeah. It's crazy. And I remembered that very seriously the other night when we were in this big book meeting. And they were talking about, you know, and the literature was written a very long time ago. And it's, you know, AA and NA or whatever is very all-encompassing. It's the people who are fucked up, but the program itself is very all-encompassing. Anybody, you know, so they try and be like, you know, it's every alcoholic's fantasy that he can drink like a normal man or whatever. And that's not true. I never in my life wanted to drink like a normal person. I never wanted to get high like a normal person. I want oblivion. That's what I want. And I don't even care, and I am not even sorry of everything that I do when I'm like that, because I'm just not. I'm fucking not, man. And that is why I stay away from that stuff. I couldn't take the pain at the end. But it wasn't the pain from drinking and drugging. And meanwhile, it was fucking bad. I just had this mental torture and emotional torture that was happening. And I started to feel a little guilty for my son, you know, that I was a shitty fucking dad, you know, for the first part of his life. Absentee, alcoholic, his dad was a drug addict, straight up. Drinking and driving with him in the car, doing fucking knuckle bumps, fucking cocaine, going to back to school night, hitting on the teacher, like all of that. Crazy. You know? Chihuahua shit. That's what I was. So, but yeah, it was just like, I just wanted the pain to stop. And then somebody told me that it was alcohol related and drug related. I didn't really think so. I didn't even know. I knew I was in pain, you know, but this was my life, man. So I never suffered from alcoholism. I didn't suffer from that stuff until I got sober. Then all of a sudden I started, like, a little bit at a time caring about. Then I was just like, you know, in touch with who I was. I was just a scared little boy, you know, but I also had to accept the fact that I was a fucking animal, and not in like the movie cinematic Tarantino way, but I'm talking about in the fucking dirtbag, like you're a foul person. That's me, you know. But I got to tell you, this other life, you know, it's also me. I'm a positive guy. I live in the sunlight. Sometimes I go in the shade and I like to fucking, you know, lather myself in bullshit, self-pity, whatever. They're out to get me. The kids are not complying, blah, 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 blah. It's not going my way. When is it going to be my turn? Why won't they notice? All of those things. Like, yeah, it's part of being human. But like I stay my ass flapping to the fucking sunlight. You know, I do. And, and now I have to go, and even just to see my boy, I might just have to just sit next to him. And if that's all, I don't want him to be by himself. And I felt like maybe in the last year or so, I left him by himself. Now, who knows? Maybe he's got other people. Highly doubt it, the way he is. Like he's like a fucking assassin. Like when I mean mum's the word, mum's the fucking word. But yeah, I don't want him to be by himself. Even if he's going to sulk, I'll sulk with him. If he wants something else, I'm here for that too. Maybe the young OG can help the old OG. We're going to spend this life on this earth how, these days are going to pass, man. They're going to pass. And while they're going on, we got to make these choices, man. How many people do we want to love? How many people do we want to help? Just like this guy said, wasn't it Silas? I always forget, is it Silas or Cyrus? That dude, man, they're trying to divide us all. He wanted to bring all the gangs into one park and say, yo, we could all work together. God. But there's always roaches. And you gotta kill the roaches, man. And that's what happened. The roaches, obviously not him. The roaches, these guys who killed him. And then they blamed the warriors. Yeah. But you and I are warriors. We're all spiritual warriors. Yeah. There's plenty of opportunity for service. It doesn't have to be in the desert. It doesn't have to be in AA. It doesn't have to be in fucking church or synagogue or whatever. It was funny, like, somebody was talking about, like, there are people who stop drinking or drugging, or people turn their life around and they do it in the church. And I appreciate that, because wherever you find that spirit that's greater than you, that can help you become your greatest self, that's amazing. But I gotta say, where those clergymen, where they come to get sober, is in AA. That's where they come. So we got to be doing something right over here if we're helping those folks. So ladies and germs, I'm out of here. Like and subscribe. All podcast platforms, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, everywhere. Send it to all your friends. I really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who's giving me a hand, so that way I can help the next person. And that's it. I love you all. Peace. We want to thank you all for joining us today. And please don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms, and find us on Facebook where you can become part of our family. We'll see you around.